If you're smart, this video might hurt your ego. Because the truth is, intelligence doesn't make you rich. In fact, sometimes it does the opposite. It quietly keeps you broke, and the most dangerous part is, you don't even realize it's happening. Take a moment and think about your life. You did everything right, you studied hard, you built skills, you followed the system that was supposed to guarantee success, and now you're earning, maybe even earning well. But still, something feels off. Your bank account doesn't reflect your effort. Your income doesn't translate into freedom. Money comes in, and somehow it disappears. Not because you're careless, not because you're irresponsible, but because there are hidden patterns built into the way you think, and those patterns are silently working against you. Let me show you what I mean. Meet Alex. He's 28 years old, top of his class, disciplined, focused, intelligent. The kind of person people look at and say, this guy is going to make it. He did everything right. He got the degree, landed a high-paying job, built a strong career. On paper, he's successful. But behind the scenes, every single month, he's stuck, living paycheck to paycheck. No real savings, no real growth, just a constant cycle of earning and spending. And this isn't a story about bad luck. It's not about a lack of intelligence either. It's about something deeper, something most people never notice, because intelligence doesn't protect you from bad financial behavior. In fact, sometimes it hides it. Smart people love learning. They read books, watch videos, take courses, and constantly try to improve themselves. It feels productive, it feels like progress, but knowledge creates a dangerous illusion. It makes you believe that thinking is the same as doing. Alex knows everything about investing. He understands stocks, markets, and risk. He can explain strategies better than most people, but when it's time to actually invest, he hesitates. He waits for the perfect moment, the perfect setup, the perfect certainty. He tells himself he's being smart, being careful, being strategic. But in reality, he's stuck in analysis. And while he's thinking, time moves forward, opportunities pass, and his money stays exactly where it is. That's the hidden cost of intelligence. It makes hesitation feel logical, but in money, hesitation is expensive. Then comes the next trap, and it's even more dangerous because it feels completely normal. As income increases, lifestyle increases with it. It doesn't happen suddenly. It happens slowly, almost invisibly. A slightly better apartment, a slightly better car, more dinners, more comfort, more upgrades. Nothing extreme, nothing irresponsible, just small improvements that feel deserved. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Because those small upgrades become permanent expenses. And suddenly, more income doesn't create more freedom, it just creates more pressure. Because wealth isn't built by how much you earn. It's built by how much you keep and how well you grow it. If your habits don't change, your outcome doesn't change. Now comes a trap that hits smart people harder than anyone else. Overconfidence. When you're intelligent, you trust your thinking, and most of the time, that's a strength. But when it comes to money, it can quietly turn into a weakness. Because markets don't reward intelligence, they reward discipline. Emotions don't disappear just because you're smart. Fear is still there, greed is still there, doubt is still there, and they influence your decisions in ways you don't even notice. You buy when things feel exciting, you sell when things feel uncertain, and you call it logic, you call it strategy, but the results tell a different story. Losses don't always happen dramatically. Sometimes they happen slowly, quietly, consistently, until one day you realize you're not moving forward at all. And then there are the small leaks, the things that seem too small to matter. Subscriptions you forgot about, random spending you don't track, little expenses that feel insignificant in the moment. Individually, they don't look like a problem, but over time, they add up. They quietly drain your future without you ever noticing it. Because money rarely disappears in one big moment, it disappears slowly through patterns you ignore. And the truth is, the smartest financial move isn't always making more money. It's controlling where your money goes. Another silent trap is overcomplication. Smart people love complex strategies. They overanalyze everything, trying to find the perfect approach, the optimal plan, the smartest move. But wealth doesn't come from complexity. It comes from consistency. Simple systems, repeated over time, create results that complex thinking never will. Even something as small as investing a fixed amount every month, automatically, without thinking, can create massive growth over years, but only if you actually start. Waiting for perfection leads to inaction, and inaction leads to zero. Then comes comparison, one of the most dangerous psychological traps. You look at people around you, friends, colleagues, people on social media, and it feels like everyone is doing better. Bigger houses, better cars, better lifestyles. And without realizing it, you start adjusting your own life to match theirs. Not because you need to, but because it feels necessary. because it feels like that's what success is supposed to look like. And this is where control slips away, because wealth is personal. It has nothing to do with what others are doing. The moment you start playing someone else's game, you lose your own. There's also a deeper issue that most people never talk about: fear disguised as logic. You tell yourself you're being careful, that you're avoiding risk, that you're protecting your money, but sometimes what feels like caution is actually fear. And avoiding risk completely means avoiding growth completely. Because money isn't meant to sit still. It's meant to move, to work, to grow. And if you treat it only as something to protect, it will never become something that multiplies. And finally, there's the hidden cost of being smart. When you're intelligent, people assume you understand everything. You assume it too, so you don't ask questions, you don't double-check decisions, you don't slow down and simplify. And that's where mistakes happen. Extra fees, missed opportunities, bad financial choices, not because you're incapable, but because you assumed you already knew enough. And those small mistakes compound over time into big consequences. So how do you break out of all of this? Not by becoming smarter, you're already smart. The answer is simpler than that. You build systems. You automate your savings so you don't rely on willpower. You track your money so you know exactly where it's going. You simplify your decisions so you don't get stuck in overthinking. And most importantly, you take action. Because at the end of the day, consistency beats intelligence. Action beats knowledge. And simple habits beat complex thinking every single time. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Start now, because your future won't be decided by how smart you are. It will be decided by what you do consistently from this moment forward. And the truth is, financial freedom isn't about knowing more. It's about doing what you already know again and again without stopping. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who actually move forward. And now that you see it, the choice is yours.